Welcome back, everyone. So ChatGPT have been forced perhaps into launching ChatGPT 5.2. Google's 3.0 is an outstanding model. So code red at OpenAI, and we have 5.2. So I'm not going to walk you through all the benchmarks. Have a look at Matthew Berman if you want to have a look at all the benchmarks. He covers them in great detail. Basically, all you need to know is ChatGPT 5.2 is the state-of-the-art model out there now. It's the best model, it's best at maths, it's best at reasoning, everything it's the best at. This is a significant increase in the power of the LLMs. But what we're really interested in is, can it do stuff better? Can it get better outputs? Because that's what we're really interested in. In this video, I'm going to go through 5 prompts to show off its strengths, and you can see and you can make a decision yourself. Is this a major step forward? I think you'll find it is, but let's have a look. As you can see up here, we've got 3 different variants. We've got auto, so that will have a look at your prompt and decide which one to go for. I think for serious business work, you probably want to make a proper decision about what you want. So instant gives you a straightaway instant answer. Great if you're just looking for something quick and easy. Thinking will definitely help you if you've got more analysis in. And this is probably the mode I use the most. It takes a little bit longer, but I think it's worth it. And Pro does really in-depth analysis, well worth using, but it does take quite a long time. So those are the 3 models, the 3 flavors, if you like. And obviously all the old models are still there, so 5.1, 5. So you still have access to the old models, but this is the new shiny one. Okay, so ChatGPT 5.1, really good at coding. I showed that off in my 5.1 video. 5.2 is supposed to be a lot better. So I've got a prompt here. Create a single app in a single HTML file, so it's easy to show. Requirements, ocean wave simulation. So this is one that has been shown by ChatGPT. So display realistic animated ocean waves, wind speed, wave height, lighting, visual style, calm, realistic, minimal UI. All logic and styling must be contained within one HTML file. Output only complete HTML, nothing else. And I want to put this on thinking. You've got different choices. You've got light, standard, and extended. I'll leave it on standard. Can't be bothered to wait for the heavy. And let's see what we get. Okay, this is the code that it produced. Pretty impressive. Keeps going. It was really quick, actually. It didn't take ages. And then I copied it into Notepad. And this is what we got. Let's have a look. Increase wind for lighter, faster ripples. So we've got a bit of C, I guess. Let's increase the wind speed. Not bad. I think if I was wanting to use this, I would go back and I would ask it to give me a bit more control. I want to see a really rough C, but that's what we got. Let's move on. Okay, let's move on to spreadsheets, because this is where trust really matters. So apparently GP2 is much better at producing structured tables and spreadsheets, etc., that are looking more readable. Let's have a look here in ChatGPT. I've got a prompt, and don't forget, I'll put all these prompts in a pack on the website. There'll be a link down below, so just go and have a look, and then you can play with these too. So I've got a prompt here: build a 12-month workforce planning model, putting headcount, monthly hires, etc. See what we get. Okay, so it thought for about 2-3 minutes nearly, and it gave me a Excel spreadsheet. First thing to notice is that there's some color in it. There is some structure to it. I've got the departmental inputs, monthly plans, summary by month, and it's put in a whole load of checks. It's given me the assumptions. It's talked about when it was doing its thinking, it was searching for tax rates and it was searching for national insurance, etc. Very, very cool. Salary was consistent. It hasn't included bonuses and commissions, etc. I could add that in to the model, and it's produced some internal consistency checks. And yeah, really, really good. Then it gave me some departmental inputs, examples of the values that it's used, so salaries, etc., and a summary table, headcount, all those sorts of things. Very good. So the inputs were simple. I didn't give an enormous amount of information. I was then able to download the file, and this is what the file looks like. So we've got the departmental inputs. So I can increase or decrease the monthly hires. So I could increase that to 6. And then it will go through the monthly plan, has an attrition rate based on that, summary by month. You can see the different areas, and these are the various checks just to make sure everything works correctly. So pretty good, and I think a step forward. I know Claude is very good at working with Excel and uses Python, etc. But this feels like a real step forward in terms of ChatGPT. Then I said, please use Canvas and make me a business dashboard. Let's see what it produced. This is my workforce planning dashboard. Very cool. Now this is nice. Change the hires and it will increase the cost, etc. Engineering, let's reduce the sales guys. And here's the cost by department that's stacked. The summary table. Very cool. It changes this cost here. That's what's really, the annual cost stays the same. So my company is going to cost me 17 million quid in wages. Shows how quickly it can grow. Very, very cool. Really, really good. And I mean, just think about if you were trying to create this sort of thing. I've just done it as a demonstration, but think about if you're trying to create this sort of thing yourself. It would be months and months and months of work. And now we've got a tool that will give us access to this sort of data almost instantly. And it's pretty good. It still needs checking. Of course it needs checking. It still needs to be, you need to make sure that a human checks it. But you know, that sort of junior analyst, etc. Really, really good. Let's move on. Okay, one of the changes that they've made in 5.2 is it's better at dealing with long context. So it still has the same size context window, 250K, and of course Gemini has a million token context window. So this is a sort of, how can we push that without changing the context window, I guess. So what I've got here is a massive document. So it's my PhD, and I've said, identify the 10 most important decisions a senior leader would need to make based on this document. For each decision, cite the exact page number and section heading used. So it's going to have to keep an eye on the document, identify any contradictions or tensions between sections, produce a one-page executive briefing. If the information is missing, explicitly state not found in this document. So let's see what we get. So this is, as you know, I've used it lots of times, a very large document. Well over 100,000 words. It talks about intellectual property rights and investment decisions. So there's something in there that you could make. You could get some information that a senior leader would need. So let's see what we get. Is it better at holding all of that information together? Okay, it thought for about 3 minutes. I wonder if we're going to get that situation where it always thinks for 2 minutes 54 or something like that. I wonder if we're going to get that every time, as we did with one of the older models. So here are the 10 senior leader decisions. Do you want to invest in China at all? If you invest, what quality of investment do you want to permit? Entry mode choice, goes through various things, and it gives me the page number here. It says the section of the document, gives me the page number, and gives me some evidence from the document. And I guess you can just click through here. Let's see. Just downloads the whole document. It's a big document. We don't want to go through that. So partner strategy, assume copying risks stance, perhaps. Figure 46 to 48 discussion. And then some contradictions. JVs is a sensible answer to a WUFI, wholly owned foreign entity. There's a common choice. literature discussion. Obviously, it looks at the literature discussion inside the PhD rather than going out externally. JV safest for IP, but firms mostly choose a WFI. And here's a one-page executive briefing. What is this about? What should you take from it? Pros and cons of investing in China. Recommended leadership moves. Things that are not found, a quantified company level cost model for each mitigation option. These might be useful things for somebody else who wants to do a PhD. Step-by-step legal enforcement playbook for China, and post 22 updates, as this was around post 2020 updates, as this was something that was finished in 2020. Very cool. Very cool indeed. Now I've checked these pages and they are the right pages. So on that task, that complex task, it's done really well. Let's move on. Okay, so finally, it is apparently much better at reducing hallucinations, and there is a benchmark around hallucinations, and this is getting better. And each time we see a new model, we're seeing less and less hallucination. That's great because it means you can trust it. Don't trust it completely, always have human in the loop, but actually it's getting a lot better. So let's just check this, provide the exact academic citation where Albert Einstein first used the phrase black hole, including paper title, year, journal, and page number. If this citation does not exist, explain why and identify the earliest verifiable origin of the term with a credible reference. See if it can do that. So one of the things I always do is get references. And then what I often do is use whatever ChatGPT has produced, and then I put it into either Gemini, Manus, really good at this, and say, check all these references, make sure they're right, they are relevant, and they say the thing that they say in the document, make sure they match up. Often I find that they don't, and the new AI will then go off and try the different references, and then I can pop it back into ChatGPT and say, okay, these references weren't any good, I've updated them, please have a look at it again. Often it will say, yes, I agree with you, or it might give us some different references. So with iteration, don't ever expect AI to give you the answer you need absolutely straight away. You need to check it. You need to be responsible for what comes out. But using multiple AIs to check each other's working is a really effective way of reducing hallucinations to zero. And then you've got a document you can be really confident with. Okay, let's see what we get from this. Okay, so no such academic citation exists. Albert Einstein did not use the phrase black hole in any paper. And there is a timeline mismatch. Einstein died in 1955. The term black hole appears in print in 1964 and was popularized later in the 1960s. So Einstein could not have been the first academic user of the phrase. In Einstein's relevant 1939 paper, he discusses what he calls Schwarzschild singularities, not black holes. Schwarzschild. So he did use Schwarzschild singularities. Schwarzschild is German for black shield, so not black hole. There was also a German scientist, Karl Schwarzschild, so he may well have been referring to him. So the earliest verifiable origin of the term black hole with a page number is in Ewing A. So A. Ewing in 1964, black holes. There we go. And competing who coined it claims, so Wheeler or Ewing, one was in 1967, one was in 1964. And here's the references. Very, very cool. Okay, so that's ChatGPT 5.2. Now, often people say to me when I'm talking, especially when I'm talking to businesses, how do we keep up with the latest models? How do we know what's happening in the latest models? And my answer to them is, don't worry about it. Don't worry about that frontier model. How often are you going to be doing activities as detailed as this? If you're doing these sorts of things with AI all the time, then maybe that's important. but most people are not. Most people are using it in their everyday work. They're using it to write documents, to assess documents, to create code, to create some visuals, etc. You do not need the frontier models. The frontier models are there pushing the boundaries. Obviously, there's a competition. There's a sort of business competition between OpenAI and Google and X and Anthropic and DeepSeek. That's obviously important to keep that competition going forward, and it's driving this technology forward. But for the everyday user, it doesn't matter the jot. Just keep using the tools. They'll get better. You'll get more out of them, and you will benefit from that improvement. But you don't need to be at the cutting edge. Okay, hope you've enjoyed that short video. I'll see you soon. Bye for now.